Hello, welcome to my American History Notes, and I'll be talking about my conclusions I've drawn from studying American history. And you may not agree with my conclusions, but you should at least know about the things I'm talking about to be conversant in American history. So we'll talk about the administration of Tyler. President Tyler began to hold his cabinet with Democrats. In the summer of 1842, he twice vetoed calls for higher tariffs to relieve the economic problems of the country, and the Whigs, his former party, called for his impeachment, which was voted down. While in office, he did manage to achieve the Webster Ashburton Treaty, which settled the long running border dispute between Maine and Canada, and a treaty in 1844 with China opened that country to trade with the Americans. Many American fortunes were made by smuggling opium to China. Of course, America was not the only country whose merchants were profiting off the enslavement of the Chinese people. England, in fact, fought wars with China over this issue. In the main, the opposition to America selling opium to Chinese people came from Christian missionaries such as E.C. Bridgman and S. Wells Williams in Americans in the China Opium Trade in the 19th Century by Charles Clarkson Steele, published in 1981. And it's reported that, quote, President Tyler therefore ordered the East India Squadron under the command of Commodore Lawrence Kearney to proceed to China under terms of strict neutrality to both look after the interests of legitimate American traders and, quote, to prevent and punish the smuggling of opium into China, either by Americans or by other nations under the cover of the American flag. It took a great deal of public pressure by American missionaries to have the federal government go directly against the larger business interests of the smugglers. Today, one would think we would view trafficking in cocaine, say by Bill Gates, as a crime of immense proportions. No, Bill Gates does not traffic in cocaine. Back to Tyler, having no party willing to endorse him for reelection, he formed a new Democratic Republican Party committed to states' rights, slavery, and annexation of Texas, which was not achieved until the very end of his administration. Henry Clay opposed this as the Whig Party nominee, as did Van Buren, the Democratic nominee. The Democrats, under retired President Jackson's influence, nominated pro slavery, pro Texas annexation James K. Polk, and Tyler, at Jackson's urging, withdrew from the race. He died the night before he was to serve as a member of the Confederate Congress in 1862 after urging Virginia to secede from the Union. An unusual tragedy struck during his administration. The president and a large party of friends were on a cruise down the Potomac River in 1844 on a new steam powered warship, Princeton, when one of its guns strangely exploded, killing Secretary of War Upshur and Secretary of Navy Gilmer. Tyler's wife, Letitia, although only 51, was an invalid due to a stroke she had suffered 2 years prior to her husband's assuming the top office of the land. Their daughter in law, Priscilla, assumed most of the roles of hostess in the White House. Letitia died while her husband was in office, and he, in his mid 50s, married 24-year-old Julia Gardner. We'll talk about James K. Polk next time. Thank you for watching. I hope you dig into American history and draw your own conclusions. Take care.